Don't worry, sir. Don't worry, Big News Morgans. I'm almost done with these calculations of the straw bounties to be prepared and stuff like that. We've already got laws and kids, and Luffy's done. I'm still calculating the procedures on the straw bounties and stuff like that. I will have those things ready for you as soon as possible, sir. Just hold on a minute. I know. This stuff should have already been out there. This stuff should have already been given to you. I'm a little behind on these calculations and stuff like that. Getting all this information from Apu. I will have this information out. You want me? Wait, we're having like a guest meetings like that, and you want me to be like a spokesperson, to be like the one to be in charge and speak for this meeting? Well, I'm very honored, sir. Like, I'm very honored. So, thank you. I would be glad to. When is it? Next week? 3 days from now? I'm sorry. It sounded like you just said it's right now. Oh, you're serious? They're right behind me? They're how long have they been standing there? About 2 minutes or more. You didn't mention anything about this right now. What am I supposed to do? I'm still in the middle of calculating things like that. Fake it till you make it. This is no time for jokes. Hey, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Thank you for joining me for today's meetings like that. I know you're here to basically get down to the results of what have transpired in Wano. I'm sure everyone's heard about the whole defeat of the Yonko's Big Mom and Kaido. So thank you for coming. We've already gotten the news out about Luffy, Kid, and Law's bounties upgrades. So thank you for coming, and I'll sort of explain to you the bounties of Luffy's crew, the Straw Hats, and stuff like that. So thank you for coming. All right, so thank you for enjoying that little opening scene. It was just a little opening scene, so thank you for joining that. So if you enjoyed the opening, please let me know by leaving a comment down below if you enjoyed the opening. All right, so now that's out of the way, let's get into, before we actually get into, like, the details on the Straw Bounties and stuff like that, I want to give over my overall thoughts on what I thought about Luffy's bounty necessarily, and what I actually thought about it. All right, so to me personally, I was one of the many people out there who actually thought that Luffy's bounty would go past Kaido. It would basically go up to 5 billion or higher. And keep in mind, no one who was thinking like 5 billion and was necessarily wrong, right? They were not in a wrong position to necessarily believe that, right? There was enough evidence there to actually support why this could be possible, right? It doesn't mean that it had to actually happen. It just means that there was enough evidence to support it, right? You can look at the fact that Luffy's bounty has always surpassed every person he's ever defeated, right? When he defeated Arlong, he surpassed Arlong. When he defeated Crocodile, he surpassed Crocodile. The sole exception would have to be Doflamingo, because Luffy's bounty was already surpassed Doflamingo when he first faced Doflamingo and Dressrosa. Not if you're counting before that when they met in Marineford and stuff like that. So that probably wouldn't count. But if you're talking about in Dressrosa, Luffy's bounty was already surpassed Doflamingo, because Doflamingo's bounty has been frozen, and because he was a warlord. And then his bounty surpassed both Cracker and Katakuri, alright? He surpassed Katakuri. So it's not wrong for anyone to necessarily believe that Luffy's bounty would surpass Kaido, most definitely. Also, the fact that, Luffy has always been, like, sort of been the person who's always been sort of, like, given the mastermind of doing everything, alright? Even though he's not really the one planning it like that, he's basically been giving that title by mere coincidence, or like mere mistakes, or just out of sheer luck that he's the one who's planning everything. He's the one behind it all. So and the fact that he was the one who really went up against Kaido, who's basically been like declared like the strongest beast alive, almost impossible to destroy. And the fact that both Law and Kid had to team up together just to take down Big Mom, and for Luffy himself, who not only like managed to go up against Kaido on so many levels and keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over and over again, and not giving up, really shows a bit of a strange scenario and like why Luffy got the same kind of bounty increase as both Law and Kid with their bounties matching together. Luffy, Kid, and Law all got 3 billion berry bounty each. Now, keep in mind, I don't necessarily mind the 3 billion berry bounty. It is weird. Like, I fear, like, it does seem weird, but I guess if this is the way Oda wants it, then this is the way Oda is going to go with it, and that's just something we're going to have to deal with. Now, one thing you point out is that a lot of people state that if you add Big Mom's and Kaido's bounties together, it makes basically 9 billion. Okay, 9 billion. Or not necessarily 9 billion exactly, but at least very close to it. So they probably wanted it Luffy's laws and Kid's bounties to all equal up to 1 billion and 9 billion in that sense by adding three billions together. So 3 billion, 3 billion, and 3 billion to make 9 billion. But then again, like there are plenty of other ways you can make it 9 billions like that. I mean, you can even have Luffy's be 4 billion, and then the other ones be then have one be 3 billion and the other one be 2 billion, and that could be possible as well. Or even have Luffy be 4 billion and both Kid and Law all be 2.5 billion necessarily. So who knows why? Like we don't know why. There's so many answers out there, and it's really strange. And even looking at the fact that Luffy managed to like awaken Gear 5th, and Gear 5th necessarily Gear 5th isn't necessarily tied to anything specific. It's just what Luffy calls his awakening. And you see, the thing about this is that we find out in this chapter that Luffy's Devil Fruit, the Gomu is actually a Devil Fruit that the government has been trying to seize control of like all their life. It is basically the power of the Hito no Mi Mononika, and this power that Luffy showed off is like ridiculous, in that even when the picture of his Gear 5 transformation is out there, it's still bizarre that how everything has been usually set up for Luffy, that he would get this low bounty increase. It's like it's strange, but it's something that you're just gonna have to accept. And so yeah, so that's my overall thought on Luffy's bounty and stuff like that, the 3 billions like that. It's weird, but I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. All right, so now before I actually get into the Straw Hats bounties necessarily, I'm going to actually sort of explain how I'm going to do the calculations and stuff like that. All right, so basically I'm going to be doing it 2 different ways, okay? And I'll explain how these things are going to be done. Now, there will be a few Straw Hats that are going to have one more or to one of the options and stuff like that. So like there's only be 2 types of calculations, but a few Straw Hats will have one more number increase, and I'll sort of explain my reasons on why this could be possible. It doesn't mean that it is going to be possible. But I will explain like why. All right, so the first thing to go over is this. So keep in mind, Luffy's bounty is 3 billion right now, right? His previous bounty was 1.5 billion, all right, or 1,500,000,000. If you add 1,500,000,000 or 1.5 billion together to another 1.5 billion, you actually get 3 billion, okay? And that's Luffy's bounty. Now, the first option I'm going to do is if we just take the Straw Hats' current bounties right now, like all their current bounties right now, and we just add them to the same bounty that they got, okay? So basically, if your bounty is 250 million and you add 250 million to it, you get 500 million. Understand? So that's basically for that. All right, and the second option is going to be very similar to how it was done in Dressrosa. So just like in Dressrosa, Luffy's bounty got like 100 million increase, and everyone else followed by only half of that. All right, the sole exceptions were Zoro and Usopp. Zoro got 200 million increase, and Usopp got 170 million increase. But everyone else got half of what Luffy got, except for Sanji. Sanji actually got the same 100 million increase that Luffy got. But yeah, so that's how things turn out for that. So it'll be very similar to how it was done Dressrosa. The only difference is that it's like this one's not going to be necessarily exactly half. So basically, like Luffy, like we're looking at it like Luffy's bounty increase was 1.5 billion. And then the second increase level I'll have is 1 billion, and then the third increase level will be 5 million. And so basically, the three increase options I'll have is 5 million, 1 billion, and 1.5 billion, or basically 1,500,000,000. So those will be it for that. All right, so now I've explained how I'm going to do these calculations, and now that's on the way. Now we just get into the saying what the numbers are for the Strides bounties. So please enjoy. All right, so first up we have Zoro. All right, so for Zoro, for Zoro, his main, like Zoro was one of the main who practically fought against like he and Luffy were the only two who actually fought against Kaido necessarily. Right? They were the ones like other strides to fight against Kaido, and and Zoro was doing pretty well against Kaido for a time, and soon he knew like for sure like Luffy is the only one who can actually beat him, and he had no doubt that Luffy could. And then after that, thanks to the help of the Minks, giving Zoro some medicine in order to give him back his strength, Zoro had to basically take on the King in a battle, and luckily for that, Zoro managed to win the fight by no doubt. So, and because of this, if we're doing the first option, Zoro's bounty, so adding 320 million with 320 million would make it 640 million berry bounty. So 640 million berry bounty for Zoro. That would be the first option. All right, moving on to the second option. Now for Zoro, I think Zoro, I'm going to give like the same increase that Luffy got, 1.5 billion. So if we're taking 320 million and we're adding 1.5 billion to it, that would be 1,820 million. And so now some people might think that's going a little bit too high. That he shouldn't get the same increase as Luffy did. But keep in mind, like the last time they all got increased, Zoro's increase went higher than Luffy's. I mean, he didn't surpass Luffy's number, but his increase did go. His increase was actually a lot higher than Luffy's. Now this time their increase is actually the same, but he still hasn't surpassed Luffy, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. So yeah, so that is for Zoro. If you liked what I've suggested for Zoro, please let me know. Now moving on to Nami. Yes, Nami. Alright. Now, Nami's main primary fight was with ulti and things like that, but of course she had help from Zeus. So, if we're taking Nami's current bounty right now, 66 million, and adding 66 million to it, that would make it 132 million. So 132 million berry bounty. I would also like to mention that I know there's like a small theory or a small possibility that there could be a possibility that Nami could be related to rocks, and a lot of people are sort of pointing out that you can connect Nami's bounties to rocks themselves because of the number 6. Well, just to point out that if Nami's bounty is done this way, her new bounty will be 132 million. Keep in mind, if you do add 1 plus 3 plus 2 together, you actually get the number 6. So just pointing that out. Alright, so that was for the first option. The second option would be taking 66 million and adding 500 million to it. So that would be one of the low tier options. And that would basically give us 566 million berry bounty. So most likely, I'm going to assume like if this is the case, that's really possibly the option that's going to go with it. So to me, that would seem most likely because of Nami necessarily. So I can see that as to be the really being the right one. All right, so after that one, Nami's going to be the ones to have like a third category, and I'll also explain the details on why. All right, so basically, if you're taking 66 million and adding basically 1 billion to it, it will basically be 1 billion 66 million, or 1.066 million berry bounty. Now you're probably wondering like why. So why? So Nami getting a billion berry bounty increase, could you please explain why? Alright, so keep in mind that the bounties doesn't necessarily seem to always get high and basically based on like the actions of what you do, or like even how like you defeat someone. But like sometimes like information can get out there that might not be like necessarily like understandable to some extent. Right? So take for instance, like, alright, so the way I can see Nami getting a billion berry bounty increase is because of Zeus, right? And what I mean by this is that we know Apu was one who gave out the information, right? But imagine if the scenario was out there with no full details on explaining why. So take for instance, like, say for instance, like Usopp, but Apu is talking to Morgans. He's explained to Morgans everything he knows, and he basically mentions, oh, one more thing, big news, Morgans. I have something else that you might want to hear about. Oh, you know that redhead, that orange hair girl, the Straw Pirates and stuff like that, the one who's fights with thunderclouds and stuff like that. Yes, that would be Nami, Cat Burglar Nami. What about her? I'm not sure why, but she's apparently got Zeus under her control. Zeus is obeying her every command and will. He's literally obeying Nami. Wait a minute, Zeus? That's one of Big Mom's powerful homies. You're telling me one of Big Mom's homies is obeying Nami? Is serving her? How? I don't know. She must have some kind of powerful power. We better give her a billion berry bounty increase. So basically, that's what I'm saying is that some crazy information out there might be sprung on that Nami could be said to be having some kind of insane power or that she's able to control and that she was able to take Big Mom's homie against her will and basically so who knows? Like it's a crazy possibility. It's just a crazy scenario. But it's something I just wanted to mention. All right, so now moving on to Usopp. Alright, so Usopp didn't have any real primary fights like that. He did fight against Page 1 for a short amount of time, but he never really actually did anything. His really great feat was helping Nami to protect Otama, and after that, getting Okiku and Kinemon to safety after he found them. But primarily Usopp didn't even do really big fights instead of like doing like regular small beast pirate members. So alright, so if we're taking Usopp's current bounty 200 million and adding 200 million to it, that would make it 400 million. Obviously, I actually think this one would probably be the most sense for Usopp due to the fact that he didn't really do much. So I can actually see 200 million increase being the right amount for Usopp up. So to me, that would be the one that makes the most sense. Now moving on to the second option, and 200 million and adding 500 million to it would make it 700 million. And I don't think there's necessarily any reason to do a third option for Usopp up in this case. Even in Dressrosa, like Usopp didn't do any like heavy fights, but he did help take down Sugar, and he was a big hand in that. So you can see a more better argument for Usopp getting an increase in Dressrosa compared to Wano necessarily. But yeah, so that's for that. So 700 million for the second option on Usopp. All right, so now moving on to Sanji. All right, so Sanji. There's something I'll need to explain about Sanji. Sanji's primary fight was against Queen necessarily, and there's something else I'll need to add on Sanji that might make a lot of people upset. But bear in mind, I'm just trying to explain. All right, so taking Sanji's current bounty, 330 million, adding 330 million to it would make it 660 million berry bounty. So 660 million berry bounty. A lot of people might necessarily want this option or might not think it makes sense or possible, because if we're going to go with this one, then that would mean Sanji's bounty would still be higher than Zoro's. And personally, I think by the end of Wano, Zoro is going to get a higher bounty increase than what Sanji did. All right, I think that's going to be true. Does it, like, am I going to be necessarily 100% right? No, I don't know for sure. I mean, I was wrong about the whole Luffy one, so I could be wrong about this one as well. But I don't necessarily think this one would actually make sense for this because it seems a little out of place. So the second option would be taking 330 million, adding 1 billion to it, and that would basically make it 1,330 million. So basically 10 million higher than what Queen's was. So Queen's bounty was 1,320 million, and so basically Sanji's would basically be 10 million higher than what Queen's was. Actually, pretty much 1,330 million is actually the bounty increase I gave for Sanji on my previous old videos. So that's for that. Now for Sanji, I'm going to have a third option, and that would basically be taking 330 million and adding 500 million to it to make it 830 million. Now you're probably asking, after I just said that, giving Sanji 830 million in for his bounty, what is wrong with you? And you have the right to say that. You do. Alright, so keep in mind, just like what I explained for Nami in the scenario of like how something could be sprung on without any like details or information to basically explain why Nami got that amount increase, scenario can happen for Sanji. So, alright, so remember, so the way I can think of it go down is like just like what I explained with Apu giving out this information. Imagine like a scenario is like he's telling Morgans or releasing information. Oh, by the way, here's another information you might want to hear about. That's Sanji Vinsmoke necessarily. Yeah. Everyone, like, he got on the intercom and everyone literally cried for help. He literally cried for Robin-chan, save me. And so wait, Sanji cried for help? Yeah, apparently he was fighting against a woman and like he couldn't beat her. He couldn't fight a woman. He must have been scared of his mind. It's like that cyborg cook who's related to who's son of the German couldn't fight a girl. 500 million increase for him. Now look, we the readers, we understand and know why Sanji called for Robin. All right, now sure, I do think that maybe Sanji could have been like, I do necessarily see like the point like that everyone's pointing out and how you can see like Sanji was a bit of like a crybaby in that sense. It's like, okay, but we the readers understand that it was a great importance, right? Because like Robin, like Sanji never would have called Robin and to come in and help on the fight and taking on Black Maria if he didn't believe that Robin could handle Black Maria, right? He never would have done that. Yeah. He had full faith in Robin that she could beat Black Maria, all right? No doubt about that. It was really like, and Robin felt honored that Sanji would feel so much trustworthy in her to believe that she could handle this, all right? So no doubt in any of our minds, the readers, um, necessarily had doubt out that Robin could not handle that fight. So Robin really pulled herself through, and she really showed it. But because of that whole intercom thing, that whole whining thing that was basically given out, I can imagine some crazy thing would happen because of that. And also keep in mind, if that's the case, and this is actually what happens, and Sanji gets a 130 million increase, he will be upset by that. But of course, Zoro, he's probably going to be thrilled and happy. All right, so that's Sanji. All right, so now moving on to Chopper. Now for Chopper, Chopper's primary thing, like he didn't like go any like big major fights. He did fight against Queen for a while. But his primary thing was trying to save the samurai and the beast pirates from Queen's virus, Oni virus that he created and stuff like that. So Chopper's uh, primary thing in the entire arc, entire battle, was really doing what he is known for, like what he is best for, and that's being a doctor. And to this like really shows that Chopper doesn't really need any special any like the Abi Nomi to do anything, or like even Marco's healing powers and stuff like that. Chopper is really trying to prove and find a way to cure all remedies and stuff like that. So he's really trying his best. Yes. So if we're doing the first option, taking Chopper's current bounty 100 and adding 100 to it, that would basically make it 200. Be honest, I can see this as a possibility. I can actually see this as being the one to be actually true. It could be possible, and technically, I can see the second option being possible too. Like I can see both of these being actual options for Chopper on increase. So that was for the first one. For the second one, if we're taking 100 and just adding 500 to it, so Choppers will not be adding like 500 million to it, but it would basically just be taking 500 and adding to that. So 100 plus 500 would make it 600. So Chopper's bounty would be 600 when the bounties come in. So that's for that. All right, so yeah, that's it for Chopper. Or if you if you like what I suggest for Chopper, or please let me know. All right, so now moving on to Robin. All right, so Robin's primary fight was with Black Maria and stuff like that, and Robin really held her own against Black Maria full well, and not to mention the fact that that the Gorosei had basically given orders to capture Nico Robin, and that Nico Robin managed to escape the CP0 members, and it's really hard to know like how everything's going to go out. And the last chapter, we did see Robin talking to Odin's father, or about Pluton and stuff like that, and like the whole shocking reveal that Pluton is actually in Wano. We don't know any information besides that, the fact that Pluton is in Wano. But because of this, if we're doing the first option for Robin, taking 130 million increase and adding 130 million to it, that'd basically make it 260 million. So 260 million increase for Robin. And if we're doing it the second option, that would be 130 million, adding 1 billion to it to make it 1 billion 130 million. So 1 billion 130 million increase for Robin. There's not going to be a third option for Robin, and most likely, I think this one makes most sense. I could be wrong, but that's what I actually believe, and I actually think that's the one that actually makes the most sense. So if you liked what I suggested, please let me know. Okay. All right. So now moving on to Franky. So Franky's primary fight was with Sasuke and stuff like that. All right, his primary fight was with Sasuke. Now if we're taking Franky's current bounty and taking 94 million and adding 94 million to it, it would basically make it 188 million berry bounty. It's like that. So I can be honest, like this could be possible. Possible, but I feel like this is too short of an increase for Franky. But who knows? It's hard to tell. And if we're doing the second option, we're taking 94 million and adding 500 million to it. That would basically make it 594 million berry bounty increase. be honest, like I feel like this is the one that actually makes the most sense. And I feel like the one that can actually be correct and right. But I could be wrong. So that's for that. And for Franky's gonna have a third option, and that's basically taking 94 million and adding 1 billion to it, basically make it 1 billion 94 million, and so basically 1 billion 1.094 billion. Could that be right? Could that be wrong? Who knows? Now the reason why I'm doing the billion barrier increase for Franky necessarily is to give like a little bit more gratitude and stuff like that. So keep in mind, Franky was a little upset and disappointed when the whole like bounty increases stuff destroys during Dressrosa and stuff like that. And like Zoro, like Franky, he basically went up against Senior Pink, who had like a very emotional backstory that was told. And for Franky, he was a little upset that he had like a really big primary fight, and his bounty increase was only 50 million, and that his bounty did not actually go up past 100 million. Now this does not count for like characters like Brook, Nami, and Chopper, but you still understand why he was upset by that. So if we're this time we're going to be fair and give Franky the benefit of the doubt and give him the actual height increase to make him feel happy and pass Usopp up, then I feel like taking a billion, adding it to Franky's current bounty to basically equal 1.094 billion bear bounty. I feel like that could be a good choice. All right, so now moving on to Brook. All right, so Brook didn't really face off against anyone. He did take down a number, and he did help Robin fight against Black Maria, but he still let Robin do most of the fight. And he also was very helpful in protecting Robin against CP0 members and trying to keep her out of harm's way. So Brook basically, Brook was a great support, or he did necessarily what he should have done. And beyond honest, like he's like, who knows? Like it's insane. So if we're taking Brook's current bounty 83 million and adding 83 million to it, that would basically make it 166 million berry bounty. And be honest, like I could actually see this as being the most aggro one for Brook for increase after 100. I can actually see that being the one that actually makes the most sense. So after everything, so to me that one makes most sense. But now if we're doing 83 million and adding 500 million to it, that would basically make it 583 million. And so 583 million for that. Could I be right? Could I be wrong? I don't know. And if you do like what I've suggested, please let me know. I really want to hear from you guys. So that will do it for Brook. And now moving on to the last straw hat. The last straw hat that we have right now that's been revealed. All right, so Jinbe, last one. And I want to mention that I'm also not going to be listing Carrot, Yamato, or BB necessarily. So Jinbe will be the last one. All right, so Jinbe's primary fight was against Who's Who, and it's because of Jinbe's fight against Who's Who that we actually found out information to basically found out information about Luffy's death and the whole the whole scenario, like how it all led to it to a greater mystery that basically like blew everyone's minds out of proportion. And so if we're taking Jinbe's current bounty 438 million and adding 430 million to it, that basically make it 876 million bounty increase. So that's for the first option what I have for Jinbe. And moving on to the second option is taking 438 million and adding 1 billion to it and basically make it 1,438 million. And could this be right? Could this be wrong? I don't know. All right, I'm just basically throwing out a crazy possibility. And so that's what I got on Jinbe. And necessarily because now that we have Luffy's bounty revealed to us, we might have a better idea of like how we can actually do the straw bounty is especially since in Dressrosa, if you look at how the bounties was given to the straw hats because of Luffy, you can see a better scenario of like how you can actually do it now because you got a great idea of how his bounty is increased. You might be able to apply that to an understanding level of the straw hat crew. So that's basically what I offered. That's basically what I've been given, and so that's all. So that's all for the bounty increases. Let's try it. If you did like what I've suggested and you like what I've offered, please let me know. So that's it. All right. So thank you for joining me today for this video. If you enjoyed what I offered, you enjoyed what I stated or anything I basically talked about, please let me know. Leave a comment down below on some of your thoughts and ideas. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you people want to hear what you people want to say. All right, like I mean, here I am asking to hear what you people say, and yet I can't even say what I need to say. But overall, if you did like what I offered, please smash that like button. All right, you gotta smash that like button. All right, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bells. All right, hitting the notification bells and subscribing to the channel, even liking the video, not only helps you but helps me. All right, we're helping each other out. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. All right, that's the way it is. So yeah, that's all. Hey, if you enjoyed what I offered, if you enjoyed what I stated, please let me know. So you all have a great day and bye.